guys, it's Andrew or Feel No Pain, and today I'm actually doing a live commentary while I play some Path of Exile, and I'm going to be doing a review of it. I figured I could probably functionally do that on this game, but, you know, we'll probably just watch me die horrendously, and, you know, it's all good. So, this game is very much like Diablo as far as the style and how it plays. It's basically this isometric view dungeon crawler, and it's gorgeous, as you can see. It has a really a lot of people are saying this is kind of the spiritual successor to like Diablo 2 in the sort of dark style of it, and it also allows you to see people who are, you know, actually playing other players at the same time without joining their game, so it kind of has almost an MMO type feel to it, but not quite. It's still more Diablo than anything else. As you can see from the inventory, looks pretty similar if you ever played any of those games. I'll get into skills and stuff in a minute, but really what I want to do is, well, first I'm going to pop up the required specs on the screen and go ahead and let you guys know this is by Grinding Gear Games, and developed and published, and it's free to play. That's one of the best things. It's available on Steam, it's free to play. As you can see down here, there are microtransactions that you can, you know, go to the shop and, you know, get all sorts of stuff. But really, weapon effects, armor effects. Let's see, there's special stuff. It's a lot of effects and stuff like that. Replaces the appearance. Skill effects. You can actually buy like guild tabs. You can buy pets. All sorts of stuff. But most of it's cosmetic. The few things that you actually do have to pay for are like, yeah, you can buy extra stash for your bank, extra character slots, but really nothing too bad. Nothing. This game does not require you to pay anything to play it. You can progress just fine. However, like Diablo 2, I mean, things like that aren't actually going to affect anything. So, like Diablo 2, if any of you ever played that, it's very painful. It has similar functionality, but it has some updates that are really cool, and I'll show you here in a minute. For one, I do want to show you guys the options screen. You see shows the whatchamacallit, the video card I've got. Resolution, I would normally have this on 1920 by 1200, but recording that way and uploading to YouTube makes weird black bars, so I don't do it. I've got everything on high. A weird thing, if I try to lower them, I get fatal errors and it crashes. So I'm keeping these high even though I would rather lower them and record at a higher bitrate, but do what I have to. So it's pretty much maxed out. You can map your inputs, change things about the UI, highlight people, auto pickup, auto equip, stuff like that. You can even stream to Twitch, which I've never done, but if I was going to, I'd be kind of interested in this, I suppose. Notifications for all sorts of stuff in the chat window. Chat window's very MMO-like, so that's a thing. But it's pretty standard. I mean, this isn't anything over the top that you get to mess with. It's just a few cool stuff. Yes, save. Okay, sure. Yeah, like I said, you have your stash. You get four tabs to start with. I haven't bought any of these, and as you can see, I've played other characters, and it all shares between characters. You get things where you can actually put random properties on magic items. You can new random properties on a rare item if it rolls with stuff you don't need. Upgrades a normal item to a rare item, so a white item to a yellow item, like this. And here's two big things that are different from like Diablo, for instance, and this is where it becomes highly customizable. Three things, actually. Highly customizable, but also highly infuriating at first. Diablo, you just kind of had a bunch of potions that you could just blow through. Diablo 3, they put them on a cooldown and stuff, but Diablo 2, you could just blow through potions, and sometimes you had to. In this, you actually get flasks, which you have 5 slots for those, and I actually have them as 1 through 5. This is... It consumes 8 of 46 charges on use. 8 of 28, 8 of 28. So, basically when I use this, it'll drop down to 38 charges. And I can't right now because I'm at full health. But, so these can run out, and they refill as you kill things. So it's basically one of those things where you have to balance healing yourself with... or using mana potions and healing yourself with killing things. You can't... If you get into a spot where you're blowing through all your potions just to kill one thing, you won't be able to do it. So you kind of have to balance that, and it becomes a natural thing as you progress. This is my lowest level character. I have characters in the level 30 ranges, but it has been a while since I've played, so I didn't want to jump in on one of those, just die immediately over and over and over. And as you can see, you have skills down here. Now, where do these come from? They don't come from the skill tree. This is the skill tree. Holy God. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. It reminds me of Final Fantasy X, I believe. The sort of branching, arcing skill tree. And what it is each character... There is a 7th character which you can unlock, and I forget how. You may have to buy the character. That may be one thing. But, basically you have intelligence up here. You have strength down here, I believe. Yes. Strength down here, and dexterity down here. So, there are 3 classes. I'm playing the witch, who's full intelligence. Then you have 3 classes, one that are like the pure classes, the intelligence, the strength, and the dexterity class. And then you have 3 intermediate classes. You have strength and intelligence goes here, you have intelligence and dexterity goes here, and strength and dexterity goes here, which is like the swashbuckler, I think. But anyway, you start from here and you can branch out however you wish. For instance, you could actually, like, even though I'm full intelligence and a lot of this stuff would work for me up in here, if I wanted to go towards dexterity for whatever reason and work on some stuff over here, I could do all that too and get down over here. And there's little things in between: increase maximum mana, elemental damage, cast speed. So there are things that are good for you in other areas. But as you can see, I'm just kind of branching out. I've chosen some extra energy shield, some extra mana regen, spell damage, spell damage, spell damage, cast speed, 22 intelligence, basic stuff. And you can zoom in and out, and these big ones are like huge buffs, basically. And sometimes you'll get like strength and dexterity from them, because since this is all intelligence, sometimes armor you need to have higher strength and dexterity. So, and then this one's like max mana, energy shield, intelligence. And then minions, and you can do lightning, or you can do, let's see, block spells with shields, flask duration, dual wielding, wands. So it branches out, and you can basically play however. And then, converts energy shield to 1. Maximum life becomes 1, but immune to chaos damage. Like, absolutely insane stuff. So you can just stack your shield forever and get weird immunities and crazy stuff going on. So that's that. So how do you get your skills? Well, all the armor that you get has blue, green, and red sockets. And blue sockets are for spells, for intelligence based, and red are for strength based, and green are for dexterity based. As you can see, I haven't even put anything in the red ones because a lot of them require weapons I don't use. They require like melee weapons and stuff. Wow, and there's a level 97. But anyway, so I have some of these in here. Glacial Cascade, the Val spells, Val, those are spells that you actually build up by killing things. It says 0 of 48 souls. And once you get 48 souls built up from killing stuff, you can use it as like a big super spell. But, you know, I have default fireball, basically like glacial cascades, kind of like an ice ability. So yeah, I kind of want to show you this. And you get quests just like you would in any other game. I'm still in Act 1 on this character, so kill Brutus in the Warden's Chambers. Cool. Sounds easy enough. Now, in this game, everything's procedurally generated. Of course, there are reused textures and reused stuff like that, but I have everything bound to my keys, and right now I'm just absolutely destroying stuff. But I have everything bound to keys, and you can see next to the skills where I have them bound. I like sort of having my hand on that side of the keyboard. But I have 3 abilities bound to my mouse and everything else. And yeah, do have to watch your mana. It'll drop on you pretty fast. But that being said, this is it's a pretty nice way to play, and it works pretty well. And I just leveled up. Look at my little wand abilities. Oh yeah, and every time you level up, you get a skill point. So I'll put it in this, so that next time I can go up there. Anyway, I have super stupid mana regen on this character. But what I like about it is that you have this near infinite customization. That's the word. And then I can do like Frost Nova. This guy hurts a lot. Lol. And of course the big dudes like that give you like blue items. And you'll find all sorts of stuff. This is definitely like a loot whore game. It's very much like Diablo in that aspect. That's a fun set of spells. Yeah, how that works is you plant one of these, and then when one blows up, they all do. So if there's one big guy, you can plant them all on his face, or right in front of him, so that when they blow up, like that. Or I could just throw this down, hold it, blow everything up. But there's a lot of sort of skill involved in this game that isn't involved in a lot of similar type games, in that you really do, it's like skill shots kind of. You have to think about it like, okay, if you want to do that and then put one of these down, you can do that. Slow them up, throw that down, let it blow up. Longer you hold it, the more damage it does. And every class has skills like this. Every class has these sort of you don't have these like instant attacks, like, and I'll use Diablo 3 as an example because they changed so much in it. But yeah, and you can bring your map up. Very, very Diablo 2. But you don't have a lot of like instant skills that are, you can just spam and destroy everything if you have enough power. You do kind of have to I don't know, think about it a little more than that. But see, you can just own everything. And destroy. But this game does get difficult. Like, you grab that freezing shrine and then it basically gives you a buff, so that you can everything around you gets slowed instead of you getting slowed by it. But there's traps in this game, there's basically everything you want from this type of game. And the fact that it's free to play is kind of insane. This has all the... It has all the polish of a fully fleshed out, fully priced game, but it's not. It was fully fleshed out, but it's not fully priced. You don't have to pay anything for it. So I guess the question of cost is sort of a non-issue. Obviously, the cost of this game is amazing because you never have to spend a dime, and I never have, and I've probably between all my characters put 30 or 40 hours into it. And let's just blow these guys up real quick in a big ball of fire. That uses a lot of mana, by the way. But yeah, and you can choose... Oh, here's the Valspark. So let me get a big group of guys and show you that as soon as I can. Burr. Oh, here we go. This will work. Yep, that's how that works. Fires 150 times in random directions for lightning. 2 to 44 lightning damage each time. Now, later on, those generally don't become quite as overpowered. I mean, I just killed an elite monster with, like, 0 trying. But it is kind of a nice thing to have, and it's your choice. You don't have to have any of those. You can just have... You can have a bunch of passive things. And that works too. See, like right now I've got a wand and a spirit shield, which is definitely what I'd want. 3 to 6 damage. Okay, so that's a rare driftwood wand. But you do have to check your stuff. You do spend a good amount of time looking at inventory and looking at your things, and this is old school. This is not your new Diablo. This is definitely like inventory management hell, where stuff takes up, you know, a quarter of your inventory by itself. And I'm totally lost, but that's okay. But yeah, this is your old school Diablo 2 style game. If you liked Diablo 2 and you like the challenge of it and the difficulty, this game has that in spades. There is, I mean, I'm level 10 and I'm on Act 1, so it's not horribly difficult. But even at this point, if you get trapped in the midst of everything, you're still going to get horribly, horribly murdered. And that's just kind of something you have to deal with. And I'm okay with it. If I want to just own things and Torment 6, the highest difficulty and everything, I'll play my characters in Diablo 3. If I want like a relaxing experience and everything, yes, that's what I'll do. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But sometimes a challenge is good, and the monsters are just unforgiving in this. Like, okay, here we go. Here's a good example. These guys jump at you, which is a pain. These dogs explode. So when they die, they explode, and there's like fire everywhere that just owns you. These guys just want to fucking destroy me from super far away. Die. Sometimes you just get wrecked. It's just the way of things. But like, all that fire, yeah, that does constant damage to me if I stand in it. So some of the things, if you're a melee character, will absolutely just destroy you so fast. Those guys, for instance. And as far as I've gotten, I know there's multiple playthroughs. I know there's way more to this game than what I've seen. But like I said, I think I'm like closing in on the end of the game with my level 30 somethings. I think you actually finish it around 50. But you go back and you do harder modes, and it's challenging. It's also very much possible to screw yourself over, and your first time through, you'll learn a lot about the skill point system and what's important and what's going to save your life, and that sometimes survival is worth more than just pure damage. Because in the end game of Diablo 3 anyway, pure damage pretty much wins. To get to the highest ranks, you have to create a pure damage build that kills things faster than they can kill you, or forces you to keep a distance and do massive amounts of damage. But that's because they become complete sponges. From what I've seen in this, that's not the case. Not nearly as much, anyway. There are so-called bullet sponge monsters in this, but they're nothing like in Diablo. If you're slightly underpowered, you'll still kill them. It just takes time. Whee. But, I don't know, the skills feel really, I don't know, really meaty, visceral, whatever word you want to use to describe it. It just feels really good to, like, power up this thing and just blow everything up. Like, the sound is incredible, and I hope it's not too loud for this. I tried to balance it correctly, but it's getting late, but I wanted to do something tonight, so, if it's too loud, I'll try to fix it as best as possible in post. But yeah, this is pretty much it. And I know I haven't showed you upgrading or anything like that other than leveling up. I haven't really gotten to show you like weapon upgrades and socketing new things and all that, but I think it's about time for me to go back to town anyway. Another freezing shrine. Constant damage coming in. You just have to watch yourself, and like the elemental, I guess the last thing I really want to talk about is the fact that the elemental types of things really matter. Really matter. It is so possible to like burning bowmen. At the beginning, not so much, but even by like level 20, some of these things will be nearly immune to fire. They'll have huge, ridiculous resistances. And there's all this cool stuff too. There's like these neat little sort of lore things in the middle of the game that you can find and discover. And Armor Master. Well,
the ancestors favor us, man.
Enter the haunted area and find the spirit. Alright, I'll show you guys this. These guys lay around and you can actually level them up. And this is something I think they added just a few months ago, because last time I played it was in there, but the time before it wasn't. So die, please. There you go.
Too much clutter.
And there's another level. Can I get rid of? Anyway. So basically I have to go through here and I have to find the spirit. And they're just little like side quests, but it's, I don't know, it's nice that they're in there. It's nice to see how much thought they've put into this, basically. And being active and moving while you do stuff is actually kind of a big deal, like that. These things will jump all over you, and there's monsters. Every monster has a slightly different movement path and sort of method to its madness, I guess, if you want to call it that. And personally, I like the melee characters. Those are mostly the ones that I have leveled up more. But it is pretty cool being a caster. It's like, obviously the melee stuff feels really good, but
Too much clutter.
it's kind of amazing how good this stuff feels too. Stop. Oh my god, stop. Just everything in this game feels so like just beating it down and doing so much damage. Wait for it. Meh. Oh yeah, and those things can't actually be one shot. I mean, they can, but lol. Level up fireball gem. When you level up gems, basically you can do it at certain level intervals as long as you keep using them. And sorry, getting distracted. As you can see, these guys' names are blue. That means they're a little harder than normal. So when you get a little pack of those, it's kind of your standard elite pack or champion pack from the Diablo series. They're not horribly difficult yet, but they get there. Well, it takes some time, but they get more and more difficult. And then you've got these, which are absolute dicks. Ugh. See, right now I can afford to use those spells. Later on, you literally have to keep moving, and things will tear you apart fast enough that you pretty much have to. I wouldn't be able to use that, and probably eventually I won't anymore. There we go. So I just got that huge buff to my intelligence and everything, so hopefully that will help with my damage. And it does. So my fireball does 35 to 52 damage. And I have my Val Spark up, so when I come up across something big, which I'm guessing is the spirit or something that I'm looking for, that I can just destroy it super quick, or whatever's guarding it. Or, I mean, this game does follow convention. That might be the only sort of downside I have towards it. You guys probably know by now, if you watch my channel, that I love these style games. They're absolutely great, and they're perfect for me. And Val Spark and Ice Nova, hooray! Yeah, these are great for me. I love these kinds of things. There we go.
Too much clutter.
And lol. Ugh. Medium mana flask. Plague mask. Okay, I don't need that. But see, yeah, you can. I mean, you can see what it requires, even if you can't. Even if it's unidentified, you can see what stats it requires. So there's really nothing here that's too out of the ordinary. Life flasks. Don't need those. Do need that. I'll take the gloves. Basically, you want to take anything that's good for your class. And now I have to make it out of here. Which doesn't appear to be that difficult. But it's still scary. I have to take this thing out of here. And each, there's, oh, I don't know, like, I think I've met like 4 or 5 different quest givers, like side quest givers, and they're all like, one's like a hunter and one's a warrior, and the hunter makes you go find certain creatures that are like corrupted, and then the warrior just makes you kill ridiculous stuff. Yeah, the armor master,
As
yeah.
you honor the ancestors, you honor yourself.
Mission complete. There you go, see? So, mission's complete. I get a little experience for him. Believe I get some for myself as well. And then basically what you would do is you'd come back to town and you would identify everything, which you just right click and let's see, what do I have that's interesting? Staves. There we go. Plague mask. 11 and 4, 29 and 9. This gives 17 maximum mana and rarity. Stun recovery, cold resistance, evasion and energy shield, and maximum mana. That is something I want. And then you can just right click the gem to take it out, put it back in, and ta-da, there you go. You've got brand new. Anyway, basically I know I've just been talking a lot while I've been playing, but what I wanted to get at is that you can see this game is very much like old style Diablo. Very punishing, very you get swarmed, it takes a while to kill things, you kind of have to be a little smarter than you do in games nowadays where things are just too god-awful easy. So it's a fun game. There's 6 classes, you can try them all out, 7 if you count the one you gotta buy or I think unlock. But it's really fun and the story's good. The graphics are amazing, and it's not too horribly intensive on like a PC. You can play it on low graphics with a pretty minimal PC, or at least a few years old. But yeah, there's not a whole lot else to say. I really like this game, and you guys know I don't do like number ratings and stuff. Never have, never will. Not a fan of it. I think number ratings kind of destroy people trying this game. But here's the point. It's free to play. If you've ever been interested in a game like this, I know I've said this about Neverwinter. I've said this about, what else? There's probably something else. But I know I've said this about Neverwinter, about MMOs. If you've never tried an MMO or you've never found one you liked but you want to keep you think it'd be something you're interested in, try it. There's no harm. Literally the only complaints I have about this game is that it does kind of follow most of the standard tropes of this kind of game. So you're not going to see anything ridiculously new. It looks gorgeous. The skills feel really great to use. Killing stuff feels really satisfying. But there isn't going to be anything that blows your mind completely if you've played these games before. Now, if you haven't, the whole game is going to blow your mind. And the only thing that really blows my mind is the graphics. I think like the shadows and the textures and everything look absolutely amazing. The water looks really good. It's just a quality game. It's an insanely quality game that's been around for 2 or 3 years now, and really the only thing else I have to say is, why aren't you playing this yet? Give it a shot. If it ends up being too difficult for you, I understand. I mean, it's not an easy game, and the first few levels do kind of give you an idea. And I will tell you this: make sure that you socket things that are good for your class. If you're an intelligence-based one, socket intelligence stuff, because you're going to get a lot of skills that boost your intelligence and spell damage and stuff like that. If you're pure strength, put a bunch of strength stuff in there. For the first few levels, just try to do that, and later on you can branch out and mess with things. And you do get skill... you do get things that allow you to... Well, occasionally they update the game and you get to redo all your skills. But I have 2 refund points, so if I made a mistake or decided I wanted to sort of like, oh, I don't need this one, but I could use this one instead, so I'll remove those 2 and, add 2 there, or add 2 there. You can do whatever you want, and it takes some time, and you may have to make a couple characters to sort of get it right. Your first character, you may hit level 15 and just get slaughtered everywhere you go. But that's the nature of these games, and you learn and you get better and you make better characters and choices and you do better. You just feel good about it. So this game captures that perfectly. This game captures what kept Diablo 2 going for 10 years. 10 years? 15 years at this point? Something like that. There's still a huge community for Diablo 2, and there's a huge community for Path of Exile because it has that staying power. It has that, you always want to find a better build or a better item, or once you've completed the game, there's so much more to do. There's I cannot remember what they're called, but it's basically like challenge versions of the areas and all sorts of stuff. You don't just replay the story over and over and over. There's other stuff you can do. And it gets tough, and you may have to grind a little, but it's a free game, and it's so much fun, and it's so rewarding, and just everything in it feels so great. So I urge you to try it if you've ever been curious, if you've wanted a challenge, if you've wanted a game that looks absolutely fantastic and will blow your mind. This is the one. This will do it. So it's been too long already. I haven't done a review in a while, so I got kind of excited and wanted to make this one a little longer. But I will see you guys all in the next video. I hope you give this a shot, and kudos to these guys for making a free-to-play action RPG that's just balls out amazing. So, see you guys in the next video. Later.